Okay, so welcome to the lesson 3 after almost 3 months. So we're going forward one lesson a month. um, yeah, today we're going to focus mostly on how to read because I told you guys I want you guys to read in Abjad now, not only in MSA, and it's only fair that I give you some tips and tricks on how to do it. So as always, we'll start with some vocabulary. The Anki deck is now available as well with audio, so if you want to study this later. So the first thing we have is awam, which actually means like the figure of someone, like how someone is standing. And this is also means like quickly. So it's don't know how one meaning led to the other, but this is where it comes from. Maybe because awam comes from the root word qama, which also means like to stand. So maybe that's why like it invokes urgency. Also, ama, which comes from qama, means high stature, like your stature in society. So versatile roots that you have to keep in mind. Then we have aho and ahi, which means there he is, there it is, or there she is. It's basically an MSA particle that means like it's like yeah, oh. That's a different way of saying it. So in MSA you have yeah, and not using a particle at all. In Masri we only use the yeah particle to call someone, but here like the other particle kind of stuck. So aho, like or he. So that's where it comes from. Ahsan means better. You can use it to compare different things, like da ahsan min da. This is better than that. Or it can also mean like I'm feeling better. Like عامل ايه أحسن. أنا أحسن. عامل ايه النهارده? How are you doing today? أنا أحسن. الحمد لله. Then you have welcome, أهلا وسهلا, which if you translate it to English, it just means like welcome. It's like you can see here, it has like history behind it. Like it means something like basically you have come to be one of us. You are among family and you are an easy guest or an easy member of the family. You usually use the entire sentence if you want to like emphasize your happiness that someone is here, but usually we just say ahlan. So bad means cold. Just like in English, it can mean like the weather is cold, something is cold, or just have a cold. With, there are two different types of with. There's ma, which we talked about I think a lesson ago. This ma means like with someone, with another person, or a person with a thing. Like أنا أنا مع أنا رايح مع الحصان. I am going with the horse. B is more like combining two inanimate objects, like شاي بلبن, milk with tea. But if you want to say mix the milk with the tea, then you're going to use ma again. So امزج, so means to mix. امزج الشاي مع اللبن. So it's also more of ma is more of an active thing and B is more of a passive thing. Then you have kitir, which means much, money, a lot. This is mostly about quantities. In other dialects, they use it as like very much, but in Masri, it's just about like quantities. Buka means tomorrow. Beit is house or home. Fil beit, at home. Bilwaqti means now. Filus means money. Gamb means beside or next to. Sometimes you'll hear this with an N, sometimes with an M. It depends on the person speaking. I usually use M, like Gamb, but you can hear both. I think it depends on which Egyptian dialect you're speaking and the background of the person speaking. But I think Cairene dialects especially mostly uses the M version of the word. Gara'i, what's happened, or illa gara, like you can mix it as well, like you can put the E at first or at the last, depending on what answer you are expecting. Remember that in Masri, the placement of the question words depends on where the answer is going to be. Like the question word gets deleted and the answer is placed where the question word is in the question sentence. Thing, حاجة or شيء. When you use which, that's just something you have to like learn as you speak. حالا means immediately. Alhamdulillah, praise be to God or thank God. That's something you're also going to hear quite often. Like, I think I said it like with another word, like عامل إيه, how are you? كويس, alhamdulillah. Like it's a way of showing like humility. Like I know it's not going to last. That's the idea of it. Like it's good now, thank God, but it's not a static thing. Everything has to change. Egyptians specifically also like to say Alhamdulillah also when something bad happens. So it's like this Egyptian philosophy. Like you're going to notice if you're speaking to an Arabic speaker who is Egyptian or not, if something bad happens, and then the Egyptian would mostly say like Alhamdulillah even something bad is happening. So it's like an acknowledgement of that. Yeah, this bad thing is going to lead to a good thing. Like bad things has to happen for a good thing to happen. So it's mostly like an Egyptian cultural thing. And then we have inshallah, which means if God so wishes or God wills it so. You say that if you're going to say that something is going to happen in the future. So usually you then say like, we're going to meet tomorrow, like هنتقابل بكرة. You always have to, if you're making a prediction, you have to say inshallah at the end. So it's a way of showing like humility. You can't be certain what the future is going to be. So you say like, we're going to meet tomorrow if God wills it so. And like we said before, like it can also mean like, no, it's never going to happen, or like fat chance. I think we said that is good server as well. Like if a parent says inshallah, you know it's not going to happen. Like it's mostly like if God's wills it so, like you need a miracle for this to happen. How is izay? How are you? It's going to be izayak, or if it's a female, then izayik. Word is kilma, comes from the word kalam, means to speech. All, every, whole is then, all of them are just the word kol. Still is lissa. So notice as well when you find this diacritic here, it's called shadda. This means that the letter is going to be pronounced double. Then place is makan, meaning معنى, not much, مش قوي. قوي is the way Egyptians say very. So it's like to emphasize that something is happening, or this like it's, are you tired? انت تعبان قوي, very much. I'm very tired. Phone call is mukalma, again from the word kelma, kalam. Hospital is mustashfa. Shifa, the word that it comes from, means to heal. So mustashfa is like the place where people heal. It's going fine, okay, that's mashi. Usually you're going to hear it like if something is, if you're agreeing on something, like هنتقابل بكرة, we're going to meet tomorrow, ماشي, okay, that's fine. ماشي also means to go, so you have to watch out for the context. Some time ago, in فترة, easy is سهل, difficult, صعب, a bit, a little, شوية. You'll be is going تبقى, تبقي. Okay, طب, sometimes طيب. And و. You're also going to hear we sometimes, so depends on the word and the dialect and the person and the flow of the sentence, but wa is like the standard. By God, I swear, Allahi. I know people who, like who speak English, for example, or German, think it's called Wallah, which exists in some dialects, but in Masri it's going to be Wallahi. There's an E at the end. Yata is I wonder. Good wishes, khair, for, because, عشان, and by the way, على فكرة. We're going to finally start with how to eat, which is weirdly enough something I had to learn first before I teach you. So this was a new thing for me as well. Like not a new thing, but like I had to understand the rules myself as well. So basic thing, the most basic thing, like you write from right to left, except for the numbers. You write them in the other direction, left to right. Why is that the case? Because Arabic numerals are actually from India. So they are not really Arabic. That's why they don't follow the Arabic system of writing. The way you write like words like and with for, you don't leave a space between that word and the word next to it. So if you look here, for example, with wa, you see that it's connected to sahlan. So ahlan is like one single. Ahlan is like one single word, and then sahlan is another word. Same thing with ba. So ana, baktib, that's another word. Bil alam, that's a block next to it altogether. Same thing with le, which means for. So edi da Muhammad, give this to Muhammad. So the L is here like really part of the word. Another thing I saw in the homework especially where people would, like there are certain words like fi, al, so fi, fi, al, so in the, they are written together, fil, or so much bil, fi, al, bait, it's going to be fil, bait. So that's like one of the things you have to watch out for.
So we're losing the yot at the end of fi, is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so basically the rule here is the one syllable prepositions get joined to the next word, to the
Yeah.
following word. That seems to be it, right? As soon as you have more than one syllable, space.
I think Spanish does thing with like de, el, del. Don't speak Spanish, but like I think I heard like if you have the del in Spanish.
And you have contractions like
Mhm.
yes with the article, like de, el, del. Yes, that's
Yeah,
true. With the
that's
article. But you don't do it with nouns.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like a similar concept. Another thing we have is so, then. That's fi. It's not an e. Like I'm trying to pronounce it alone, but like it's fo ojtelu. Like it's more of a fo. Fo ojtelu. Then I told him. Or he said this, so I told him that. And then you have the K, كالعادة, as usual. So K is more like as. It's something to compare two things with each other. It's mostly MSA, so you'll find it in Masri in like blocks like this, كالعادة, which itself is a MSA expression that just stuck in Masri. So if you see the K, chances are it's an MSA expression that just stuck around in Masri. The way we use commas. So first, in English, if you're going to count like three things, noun number one, and then you write a comma, and then noun number two, and then you write and only one time at the end, and then the third noun. Depending if you use the Oxford comma or not, sometimes you add a comma before the end. I personally add a comma before the end. But like and or always one time at the end of the sentence. If like have multiple things you're connecting. In Masri, you do it with every single noun. Like Aurelio, we AT, we ape. So I will use the and every time. And I wouldn't put like a comma next to each one. The only time you put a comma before the where is when you're connecting ideas, like it's multiple sentence. So you have here روحت البيت, I went home, وأكلت, that's second idea, وبعدين نمت, and then I slept.
Is the comma inverted compared to how it's usually said in Latin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Everything is inverted when you write Arabic.
Right, but it was top, bottom, it was upside down rather than
I know, yeah.
right, left inversion, so I was...
No. So here you have a sentence like that shows everything together. أنا ومحمد, so me and Muhammad, no comma, رحنا البيت, وأكلنا, so new sentence, or like not new sentence but a connecting sentence, وشربنا, so only comma here, no comma here, وبعدين اتفرجنا على الفيلم, then we watched a movie or the movie. Okay, I just keep going. Feel free to interrupt me anytime you have questions. Good. So you have the diacritics, which I think is like the one thing, if you have no idea how to read Arabic or don't know anything about it, I think it's like the most visually telling thing about Arabic, because you have like multiple signs below and above and everything everywhere. There are like diacritics that I don't even know what they mean. Like if you open the Quran, for example, you'll find so many diacritics. These are like the standard ones. Like in everyday life, like 90% of the time, even in like official documents, anything outside of religious text, it's going to be only these diacritics. So the first one is Fatha, which means like a short A. So, for example, Kataba. Fatha means like to open, so that's where it comes from. If you want to create the root word of any Arabic or Masri word, you take away all of the vowels in the word. Like, let's put here like an example. For example, it's going to be So here it's yaktubu. Like this is more MSA, but just to show the idea. So if you want to remove this, to turn the word like a stem word from this, you're going to remove the ya. Remove any vowel that you might encounter. Here we don't have any. Remove all the diacritics. Write only the consonants. Add fatha everywhere, and you have the root word. If we have a word like school, we remove the M because it's like a prefix. Remove the feminine T at the end. He studied. So this is the way to always create the stem word, the root word.
And the root word would typically be past masculine singular.
Yeah.
He. Okay.
Always, yeah.
Wow.
Good. So the next thing is kasra, which means to like break. This is going to be a short e. So like here with mina or min in Masri. Dhamma is an u, like kutub, books. Sukun, this is like no vowel. Like here, for example, with the example of yaktub, there's no vowel with the K, so it's sukun. Sukun means like stillness. That's the meaning of the word. Shadda, that's if you have like a double consonant. So mudarris. Shadda means like to stretch. Then you have the three tanween. Tanween, you have the word noon in it. It's like the letter noon. So it's basically these three, and you add an N at the end. That's why, I don't know if you guys can actually see them. So if you have like the 1 dash for the fatha, you add 2. If it's 1 dash for the kasra, you add 2 dashes. If it's 1 little tiny waw for the O vowel, you add 2. Like here it's written like in computer way, but in everyday life you just write 2 next to each other. Okay. So on the other hand, we have the long vowels. So the diacritics usually, actually always show the short vowels. The long vowels are written down like as actual letters. And the difference between them is that they usually don't change depending on the case of the word. So that's like something that stayed from MSA mostly, where you have that the ending of the word or some of the vowels in the word shift as the word's position in the sentence change. The written long vowels stay static all the time. Like if they are in a word, they remain in that word, they never change. And they get their own diacritics as well, sometimes. Like you might have a ye, so a long E, and it might have as kasra below it, like as an emphasis. That's really an E. You have to emphasize that E a little bit more. Abe, you want to say something?
No, did it make a noise?
Yeah, no, it's okay. I just thought you were going to ask a question. Okay, so biggest problem is that in Masri, in everyday life, you are not going to see any diacritics. So you don't know which vowels come between the consonants. So there are some ways to know how to pronounce a word. They aren't rules because the problem is if I see a word, I just know how to pronounce it because I know it. Like a good example would be if I say, let's say, sorry, like you have so many vowels in your name, it's like the perfect example. So if I want to write Aurelio, that's would be a foreign name. I would write O. So basically every single vowel was written down. Because if I like write it normally, I would write it like this. Like if I write it down like this, you don't really know how to pronounce it. Is it Aurelio, Irelio, Aurelio? Like there's endless combinations of how to pronounce this. So I would add like if I add like this, then I have an idea. But no one actually write this way, so we add the vowels. But for example, like for me, if I have the name Thomas, I would write it, and most people would write it like this. Because like I know if I see this and I know it means a sentence, it's referring to a person, so I can like get which vowels should be placed here because I know the name Thomas. So this is one trick, like how to figure out the word. If it's a foreign word, mostly all of the vowels are going to be here. The second way is you already know the word. Like this comes as you learn. This is basically how native speakers as well can do it now because like they know most of the words. If it's a new word, like if I encounter a new word, I would actually need the diacritics or ask someone else because I don't know the vowels. I do not pronounce it. So you will find actually people asking like how to pronounce this word because if the diacritics are not there and it's like a new word. A third way is the grammar. Grammar actually tells us a lot about how the word should be pronounced. We're going to see all of this in action, but like keep this like points in mind. There are also word patterns. So there are words that in a specific place in a sentence always have the same rhythm to them. So they always have like the same vowels when you have a certain word in a certain place. And of course, you can learn all of this, go from Giza to Luxor, and then discover that all of this has to be learned again because they use completely different vowels in the south compared to the north. So that's why like South Egyptians and North Egyptians don't usually try to speak the dialect of each other because like you have to learn all of the vowels again, and that's not that easy. Okay, so we are going to take an example. أنا شفته من فترة وكان تعبان. I saw him a while ago and He was tired. So let's break this down. So the first part is the ana. The second is the verb with the suffix, the pronoun suffix attached to it. And then you have a preposition. And then you have fatha, which is like shows time. We can, that's another verb. And then taben, that's like his condition. So you can break it down like this. So here I wrote it down one more time, like how is it broken down. And then after we have broken down the sentence, we're going to try to infer the vowels of every sentence, of every word. So ana, that's a common word, like that's a pronoun. If you learn the pronouns, you already know how to pronounce it. So you don't need any guesswork here. Shuftu has two parts. Since the sentence begins with an I, this is going to be a first person verb. So the Masri word of shuft, I saw, is going to be chef. So the verb chef, he saw, in present tense masculine is going to be shuft. So if you know how to conjugate the verb, you already figured out how to pronounce it. Like to see in the present singular is going to be shuft. And then you have the suffix, that's an aha or o. So shofto. That's also like if you know the pronouns, the suffix pronouns, you already know how to pronounce this. If it's a he, it's going to be shofto. If it's a she, it's going to be shoftaha. So it's an O if it's a masculine pronoun, it's an A if it's a feminine pronoun. So this section is just grammar. If you know how to conjugate the verb, how to attach suffix to it, you already figure out how the verb should be read. Min, another common word, a preposition from, so it's always the same. Fatha, so this would be like the real tricky one. So let's break it down. So if you look at the diacritics here, you see that the F has a fatha, so that's pronounced fa. T has sukun, so no vowel. Re is ra because that's a fatha. And then the feminine T at the end. Of course, you don't have the diacritics. That's the whole point of this example. But here is what I meant with the patterns. So you have like words that have the same rhythm. So fatha, lahza, galsa. As you learn more words, you're going to notice that there are words that always have the same way of being pronounced in a sentence. So, for example, I can say, أنا شفته من فترة. I saw him a while ago. أنا شفته من لحظة. I saw him a moment ago. أنا شفته في جلسة. I saw him in a session. So that word in this very specific place in a sentence, all the words that have anything to do with this idea always have the same rhythm. Does it make sense? This is also like vocabulary. The more you learn, the more the rhythm is going to stick in your mind. Okay, so the next thing is we can. Here is another example of the wa reading pronounce we. So we can, because there's this word next to it, so it's the vowel shifts a little bit. So this one is also easy. In Masri, it's going to be wa or we or we sometimes as well, depends on the person. But you know how to pronounce it. Like pronounce it any of the three ways, the way that sounds most natural to you, and it's correct. Can is like it's a standard word. He was. So it's always pronounced the same. So if you see can, kaf, alif, nun, K-A-N, just pronounce can. Ta'ban, also break it down. It's the T, you have ain, and then ben. The way you know how to pronounce this word is that it only has another word that is similar to it. So you have ta'ban and ta'ban. One means he was ill or he was tired. The other means he was a snake.
Yeah.
Which one you use? Both are technically correct depending on the person you're speaking about, but here they seem like they are good friends, so he's probably using the version that says he's tired. Also here you're going to find like the pattern, the same rhythm. So you have like taben, atshan, zalen, farhan, all of these like conditions, like the state the person is in right now. So he's tired, taben, atshan, thirsty. He was upset, هو زعلان. He was happy, هو فرحان. So again, here you have like the rhythm. If you see he was something, it's going to be this same rhythm as well.
So would the rhythm on these words, for example, if you're using them as an adjective or descriptor of like the subject of a sentence, I don't know if that makes sense as a question. But like if you were to say, instead of saying he was tired, if you were to say a tired man just came in.
It would be the same. الراجل التعبان وصل. الراجل العطشان وصل. It's going to be like it's all the words that describe the current state of a person all have the same like rhythm. They all follow us.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Okay. Like it's something you're going to learn as you learn more vocabulary. It's going to be like, oh, okay, like I know that this word means tired, it's condition, so it's going to be pronounced tamen, because all the other words are pronounced. Because I know the other word, atshan, it's pronounced this way, so this word has to be pronounced the same way. So if we put it all together, how to do it, it's break it down, do all the things I did, like every single word, how can I pronounce it? Is there a trick here to pronounce it? Can I break it down a little further? Are there words that are standard, like ana, min, can, these like always the same, and then try to do some guesswork with the other ones? Writing is still in MSA. We haven't reached the point yet when we write in Masri, so approximate it to Masri. So the qaf, for example, if you encounter it, it's going to be an a. If you write a th, the th, it's going to become a t in Masri. So convert it to the way it's going to be spoken. And when you speak it, the words like can, taban are going to be obviously a bit longer than the diacritics where you have like an a at the end. So this is again like the how do you know it? From the rhythm. Like, taban has a longer vowel than like fatha. Okay. So this is the part about reading. There are two small things I want to talk about at the end, but you can ask any questions you have about this part first.
It didn't come up yet, but one time we didn't discuss the Hamza. And I wanted to ask about this with the article. If you, how do I say that? It seems to me in writing that normally it goes away in combinations. Is that correct? Like, for example, feel bait, the Hamza goes away and the L.
There's no Hamza at the L.
There isn't one. But when you just have when do you write it with the article? I guess is my question. I'm trying to write my own exercise sentences.
Okay.
I mean, and I tend to get confused there. When do you, when don't you?
You never write it with the article.
You never write it with the article.
It's always a.
That explains why I don't see it.
That's why when you find like the word like Allah, there's no A, like there's no Hamza, because it's short for Al-Ilah, the God. So here, like the second A, the E at the end with the Hamza is completely removed and both are written together. Allah is actually a very interesting word because it always have this very specific diacritic. So even if you write it down in your phone, you will find it that it
automatically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then the other thing, you had one on, where was it? Maybe inshallah.
Mm-hmm.
In thing. You had it in thing. Haga, and then I think, what was it? Shy? I don't know. I missed that part. Up where we had thing. Yeah, there it is. Let's see it. So you had Haga.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next word is?
Haylan.
Sorry. The after Haga, the next word of the Arabic portion.
This one here?
No, one higher. After Haga.
Here, I mean.
No. You have two alternatives there.
Yeah, now I see. She, I think.
She. And so that's like a little glottal stop at the end there that you're indicating after the she. Okay.
She.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
If it's.
Can you zoom in on it?
Mm-hmm.
You just see it. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
It has a Hamza at the end.
She.
Yes.
If it doesn't have a Hamza, it's just an A, like a long vowel.
There would be Shah, right? So that was the part that confused me.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have the double dot.
Yeah. If it doesn't have a double dot, then it's an A. If it has an Hamza, it's a glottal stop. If it has a double dot, then it's an E.
Oh, so should it have the double dot here?
No,
It should. Okay.
because the diacritic would be under the sh. She.
Oh. I got you. Okay, cool. That's all.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, so the final two things we're going to do are fronting a topic. So this is actually quite easy. So in Masri specifically, most important ideas are at the beginning of a sentence. So a phrase like معنى الكلمة دي إيه? What does this word mean? That's the very correct way of saying it, and the way MSA, for example, also would express this idea. In Masri, however, we always switch it. So we say الكلمة دي, this word. So this is the important thing about this sentence. This is my topic. So I start with it. الكلمة دي معناها, meaning إيه, what. So literally the word, this, her meaning, what. If you say it this way, the official way, it's not wrong. Everyone would understand you. This way is like how we actually speak in everyday life. So topic, verb, pronoun, suffix, question words. So that's fronting the topic. According to the kullu tamam book. That's the way they described it, or the term they used. Okay, so any questions in general before we call it a day?
Do you have a recommendation of how to go about actually learning the science? Because I failed on that once before.
I would recommend reading with the diacritics first. Like, don't try to jump right into reading without them. I would also recommend as well learning vocabulary, because the more vocabulary you know, the easier it's going to become to guess the word. Like, there's a reason why people just completely ignore them, because they just know the words, they learned it. So the more vocabulary you know or you have, the less they're going to be a problem. And also don't think about it too much. It's going to come eventually. It's not something you have to actually sit down and it's good to learn, but it's going to come eventually on its own.
The question about the vowels or about the Abjad?
I think you misunderstood me. I was asking about the actual signs of the Abjad, because with the variations, I've struggled with this already before.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant. I thought you meant the. I thought you meant the diacritics.
Yeah, I learned Hebrew. The concept of diacritics as vowels isn't new to me, and some are even the same. So.
Okay. The way we learned it as children was to learn every letter in all of its shapes first. So treat them as different letters. That's the way we learned it at school.
Mm-hmm.
And then try to connect these letters together, even if they don't make sense.
Just to have to learn, this is how it looks when it goes in the front, this is how it looks when it goes in the back.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
And then from there, you can copy text. That's also a very good exercise. Even if you don't understand the text, just to give you a feeling of how, the flow of the words happens. And also group them together. There are many that have the same way of being written. So you can put them in groups.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Yeah. Good. If we don't have any more questions, then thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed this. Wish you all a good Sunday. And next time we're going to practice this. So it's going to be fun. I won't speak too much, and you're going to do all the speaking next time. So.
Very good.
Then,
Cool. Thanks so much.
Have a nice Sunday. Bye-bye.
Shukran.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.